streaming. Boom, boom, and boom. This is Clemhawks, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome to tonight's broadcast of extra innings between the Phillies and Astros as we get set for what will be a dramatic finish, what has already been an absolutely dramatic finish to this ball game. Gilly's TV here watching it all the way through so far, except for the 10 minutes he missed to make a pizza in the oven on a Friday night. My friend, 5-5 right now, as I understand it. What kind of ball game's this been, in your point of view, game one of the World Series?
It's had everything you've wanted in a game. It's had the close calls for both sides, the close pitches. One team, the Astros, coming out 5-0, Phillies rallying back within 2 innings. It's been a great ball game, and I'm excited for this extra innings. And without the runner on second, it's going to be different.
Absolutely. So now we remain to see what happens here in extras. I'm just trying to queue up the game, trying to queue up the live stream at the same time. You're watching. What are we looking at here live in the...
We just seen Real Muto hit a home run to give the Phillies a
Hold
6-5
on.
lead in
I'm
the
gonna
top of the 10th.
I'm gonna watch the pitch come in. It's, I believe, Garcia on the mound for the Astros. Drives it to right field, opposite field, just over top of the wall, and gone for Real Muto. A 6-5 lead on a 3-2 pitch on no outs here in the top of the 10th. That's what you want out of your star catcher, one of, if not the best catchers in baseball in the past 2 seasons, and he gets the job done right there.
Yeah, he gave the Phillies hope, tying the game with a two-run double in the fifth inning, and now he's put them on his back again with this home run. And I believe that's Kyle Tucker there in right field, just missed that
Oh
too.
boy, oh boy, I think, hold on, I gotta mute your audio because I think I've got the game audio coming through here. Can you check that on your stream quickly? So that would be a little bit of an issue if we've got the game audio. Hold on, we'll just quickly backtrack to old YouTube here. Sorry folks, it is Real Muto with the go-ahead home run. The big one there for sure. Let's see here quickly. What do we got? We gotta check our ads quickly here and see what we're missing, if anything, to begin this live stream. A couple of things here, and yeah, there's game audio. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's a rough go. Okay, so we finished off screwing this one up as much as we possibly could. So now I gotta see if I can adjust the advanced audio properties here to take, yes, technically I could just mute the stream, is what we could do. Just mute the stream and away we go. So that means that Oilers live stream we had over on Dolany TV the other night. Oh boy.
No, you had that coming through your TV, I thought.
Yeah, it is coming through my TV still too.
No.
That's an interesting mess, and we'll have to figure that one out, I guess. But yeah, that's interesting to say the least. As we are up to 3 folks watching now, folks, welcome in. Bryce Harper taking one off of the catcher here on a foul ball, and now all of a sudden an 0-2 count to Harper in the top of the 10th. 6-5 Phillies following that Real Muto swing to go opposite field. That's just a thing of beauty. You know what? You're late into the game, top of the 10th, you're in extras, and you do that. You take it the opposite way for a home run.
Oh, exactly. Can we take a minute though to see, like, those green shoes, those green gloves Bryce Harper has is mint.
I
Gotta
mean,
admit that.
hey, style's one thing, that's for sure. And for Harper, he likes balling out, so he's definitely got it going. And he's also got something green on his back of his hair there as well. So he's all decked out in the lime green for tonight's game. And it looks like, who's warming up in the Phillies pen? Do we have a name on that guy?
I did not see, they did not mention it.
Oh, look at this.
Trying to keep
Bryce
the
Harper's
TV down.
Gonna bloop it out to left center. Down for Alvarez, who fires it in for the base knock for Bryce Harper. All of a sudden, the Phillies mean business here in the top of the 10th. They are up 6-5, and they have the next base runner on. And Garcia in 11 pitches into this inning. I believe it's Garcia on the mound. Still haven't gotten confirmation on that. But look at this go. The Phillies are going to try and pull off the improbable in game one of the World Series.
It is still Garcia on the mound, and that is the catch to make the game go to extra innings. You'll see on your screen there pretty soon. Game saving catch by Castellanos.
And here he is drawing in the box right now. He's going to face down Garcia for the first pitch of their at bat. 11 pitches into the game is Garcia at this point now. Top of the 10th, he'll throw on over to Harper. Gurriel checks him with the glove, and that will now invoke that replay Gillies is talking about here. And it goes to Castellanos, who just makes a diving beauty to save the game. Late in the ninth inning, dives in there, one knee on the ground, sliding across, and now up to bat for the Phillies. But they'll check on Harper again. And I think we had this kind of situation in the bottom of the ninth, if I'm correct, where it was one of those situations the Phillies had a chance to get a runner out of action with Altuve stealing second.
Yeah, that was a really close play. It was a bang bang play where the Phillies catcher threw it off of Altuve's leg, but Segura had his glove on Altuve's leg and caught the ball. But it was so close to tell, they called Altuve safe.
And see, that's part of what sent us to extras, and it'll be down on strike. No, fouled off. Down on strikes. What's Castellanos doing here? 0-1, sorry. My stream being as far behind and us talking as much as we are, distracting myself, but it's 0-1 to Castellanos on my screen now. 12 pitches in now is Luis Garcia, who's looking to try and get out of this inning as best he can, because that's the big part for him. He's got to try and avoid any disasters he can potentially create for himself, and instead he'll induce a ground ball double play, but safe on the hustle through at first base is Nick Castellanos.
Yeah, you got to hustle down that line, and he beat out a great double play chance by the Astros there to keep the inning alive.
And just a perfect return throw over to first base, but Gurriel stepping on the bag and receiving that ball just a half second too late. And for Pena, great postseason so far, but you know he would have liked to have that one right there. And now that brings up Alec Boehm, who's had, well, a two-run double in the fourth inning, a big-time double in the fourth inning for the Philadelphia Phillies. One of the big reasons they are sitting in this situation now. And everybody tense at the ballpark. I love how much emotion is just on everyone's face. The nervous anxiety moments of postseason baseball in extra innings. And right in there, Garcia fires in strike one. Of course, we're still in double play territory here. That's the problem for the Phillies, is you can add on all you want this inning, but very well one pitch, next pitch, you could be done and going to sit down in the top half of the 10th and going out onto the field for the bottom half.
Well, exactly. And I said this in the first live stream today. Just move the runner over. You got to play small ball baseball in the World Series, and that's how you're going to win games. Is
Well,
stay out of the double plays, do the small ball stuff.
for Bowman, I mean, who better than Bohm to be one of those guys that does it for you? I think, in all honesty, is he would be a guy that you got to look at doing it for you. Is right? He's a guy, young guy in the lineup. You want to build ways to win in the MLB. That would be a way to win in the MLB. Just play a little bit of small ball in the postseason. Really show that commitment to your team game, and see if you can't get it done. But it looks like he's swinging here, and he's going to chop it into third base. And hey, guess what? The commitment to the team game, it's there, maybe by accident this time, but he moves the runner.
Oh, it was a nice dribbler. Castellanos broke right when it was hit. Got to second in time to cancel out the double play.
And now the Astros face a runner at second with two out, and Bohm, he knew he was pretty much done as soon as that ball was hit up the line, but he just hustles down to make sure he's the primary focus of the. Was that Altuve at third base? No, that's sorry. I honestly don't know about the.
That's
Look,
Bregman.
Bregman, that's who I'm looking at. There we go. Sorry, the Astros? Who knows the Astros? Definitely not me. Well, folks, welcome into the live stream. We've got a pitching change coming up. Looks like Stanek's going to come out of the pen right now for the Houston Astros in this top half of the 10th. Hits 9 apiece, 6-5 the Phillies lead after a home run by GT Real Muto. And let's go back to that moment. Right, a 3-2 count to begin the top of the 10th. One of those big moments where you got to come up with a big result if you want to change the game. And who better at that moment to do it than JT Real Muto?
Well, it was a huge hit for them, and he put this team on their back since the fifth inning. He was making plays. The stolen base by Altuve could have went either way at that point. It was a good throw, it was a bang bang play, and he didn't let that distract him, didn't let him get down on himself. He went out there and said, I'm going to take this game by myself, and that's what he's doing so far.
And now, right, you're looking at this the way it looks for the Phillies is all you have to do is add maybe another run and shut it down in the bottom half of the 10th. And guess what, friends? All of a sudden, potentially, you have yourself game one of the World Series. Now, that's speaking way too soon, but the hard part is you can't win if you don't win. And for the Phillies, as it currently stands, you're in that spot to go out there and win. So now for them, you just got to go out there and finish this off if you're the Phillies. And obviously, step one to that, I think, for them with a runner in scoring position and a pitching change happening right now, is to tack on another run in this ball game.
Well, and that's what I said. Right now, you got a pitch and change, and of course, you got I believe it's the rookie Bryson Stott coming up after the break here. He needs to play that small ball. You got a guy on second where you can put a guy score a run. You're going to have to do it, and this is a big moment for the rookie.
Big base hit up the middle is all that's needed. Dribble it through the pitcher's feet, up the middle perfectly, and I think away you go, right? You got that 7-5 lead, and I think the Phillies are off and running in the bottom half of the 10th. But right now you got to face Ryan Stanek, who, to his credit, allowed 1.15 ERA on the season on an opponent's batting average of 188. So you got to believe he is looking to just shut it down here. He will get ball one on the first pitch he throws this ball game. 98 mile an hour, 1-0 count with Bryce Harper at second base. And that's the other side too. You've got Bryce Harper at second base. It's not like you've got a guy who's absolutely slow out there. Harper can move. They were throwing over, keeping him close earlier. And now Stanek delivers pitch number 2 of the at-bat. And this will be Stott skying it out into left foul area and into the fencing or netting, whatever you want to say. And that will be down for a strike in the column. Now Stott, right, he's a lefty facing Stanek. Got to imagine he's looking to just kind of, I don't know if you want to drive it the other way, but I also don't know if you want to pull the ball.
You want to hit the gap wherever you can. As, like I said, small ball, hit the grass. Put it where you will score Bryce Harper.
Sorry, it's Castellanos at second. Harper was erased on the foiled double play.
Yeah. Let's put it on grass. Let Castellanos. He can run.
Well, that's going to be a foul ball there from Stott, and 3 pitches in, Stanek's got it to a 2-strike count. And now you see Yordan Alvarez taking a few breaths over there. Same, of course, with Alex Bregman, and you just see these guys just calmly waiting it down, trying to figure out what it's going to take to win this game here tonight in the Astros home ballpark. Minute Maid, I believe it's Minute Maid. No, it's not. Is it Minute Maid? I don't know what their home ballpark is. That one's outside. No, they had a peek at Castellanos, who had wandered off the bag a little further than they would have preferred. Here it is, a 2-2 count. You got that runner at second base still. Stanek with the hair flowing, trying to shut things down in this top half of the 10th. And you got Bryson Stott, who's 0 for 3, and he's taking a walk. That's as far as he goes tonight. A 182 batting average in the postseason. A rookie looking to do incredible things for his team in game 1 tonight. Seal it up 2 runs, and he's going to hammer that one foul on the inside pitch. But yeah, it's one of those things. I think in this situation, can you at all imagine how much pressure, not the fans and everybody in the stadium's putting on this kid, but how much pressure he's putting on himself?
Oh, exactly. The statistic today was for the first time in World Series history, there are two rookies on each team playing shortstop for the first time making their World Series. This is a huge at bat. He's a promise for this Phillies team. He needs to deliver.
And with a 3-2 count now after Stanek throws it in the dirt, not enough to get away from the catcher, but enough to get a ball in the column. A 3-2 count, counts loaded. Castellanos likely to take an extra hop off second, not necessarily running start from second, but Stanek will have to carefully deliver to home plate and make sure he delivers a good pitch here against Stott, the lefty who's looking just to do anything he can to try and take home this game right here for the Phillies. But it'll be ball four instead. And you saw Castellanos had bounced pretty far off two bag. And it will be Stott taking the walk. So, hey, you know what? You needed a good result out of the at bat. Guess what? You got it. It's a walk. And now Dusty Baker's not sitting too comfortable at all. He's got a situation where he's got a pitcher in against Gene Segura at second base for the Phillies. He's got a 231 batting average this postseason, 0 for 4 tonight, and a 5 RBI strike in that column so far for runs batted in this postseason. So this is where it's going to get interesting, I think, for the Phillies, as they really got to bring it home right here, right now. You got an opportunity to add the lead, and instead Segura falls off strike number one. So for now, Stanek, I think obviously you would have loved to get Stott. Now, how much focus do you have to play into trying to get the righty, the matchup advantage for the pitcher, try and make this one count against Segura?
You need to get him out because right following Segura is another lefty. You don't want to put Segura on base with a lefty and Brandon Marsh coming up. This needs to be an out for Stanek. And I believe that they're kind of too worried about Castellanos on second.
So now Stanek's got him into an 0-2 count, 9 pitches into his night. Runners at first and second, 2 out. That's kind of the pesky part of playing, well, I guess you could say pesky part of playing small ball is you do end up trading outs to move runners. And the Phillies couldn't quite do it on the first ball they got on the ground where Harper was eliminated at second on the foiled double play. But now you got Castellanos as a result of the small ball from Bohm. And look at this. That's going to be skied high by Segura over near the bench. And, well, it will go down for strike number two again. We'll redo it after the foul ball. Vasquez thought he had it, but he just couldn't break fast enough for it. And now I think the big question is, how much does Stanek really want to put away Segura here on 0-2 by making the perfect pitch, or does he want to just try and get the out by getting it in play and finishing it off?
He needs to get it in play. He needs to get this out. It's a huge out. If you go down by 2 runs going to the bottom of the 10th, your team is defeated mentally, knowing that you had a 5-0 lead, now you're down.
7 unanswered runs for the Phillies would be quite something to come back from, let alone they've already choked the lead in the 5-run lead there the Astros had. Now down a run in the top half of the 10th. The Phillies just watching the guys in the bullpen get ready. This is going to be a big pitch here from Stanek. The rally hats are on at the Minute Maid Park, as Stanek will deliver the pitch, the 0-2, and Segura will fly ball this one to Bregman, who settles under it. Just a weird little looping liner to Bregman to end the inning, and that's exactly what we were saying. Get the ball in play so your fielders can get the out for you, and that's exactly what Stanek does right there, but not without the homer from JT Real Muto.
Yeah, that was a great quality pitch. With 2 strikes, Segura had to protect the zone. And, if he gets a bit underneath that, I bet we're talking about Castellanos scoring.
And that's exactly right. If he would have just duffed it over top of the shortstop and third baseman right into that soft area in left field and gotten it going. All of a sudden, yeah, you're talking about a situation where Castellanos, no problem, he breaks well, he scores. And then secondary, the Phillies have a lot of runners on as well and could really mess around and find out here in this 10th inning. But folks, I'd just like to welcome you into the channel. I see we're all of a sudden gaining a little bit of traction on the live stream. It's my great pleasure to have you along this evening. It's Dolany TV and Gillies TV teaming up for a live stream here on Clemhawks this evening to bring you extra innings coverage of the Phillies and, of course, the Astros. The Phillies lead 6-5 here in the bottom of the 10th inning, which will get underway shortly as we're just waiting for things to resume here at Minute Maid Park. But it's going to be interesting to see what the Astros have to say about this 6-5 Phillies lead. Of course, as we mentioned before, the Phillies came back all the way from being down 5-0 early to now be in extras up 6-5 to try and take this one home. Gillies, just quickly, your thoughts start to finish on this ball game and what you've watched start to finish so far through 9.5 innings.
Well, both teams had their ups and downs. Verlander came out, pitched 10 batters up, 10 batters down. Aaron Nola, on the other hand, didn't really do, he got rocked around. He pitched 4 1/3 innings, allowing 5 runs. And then Verlander, he got pitched around too in the fourth, fifth inning there and couldn't get out of a jam. Credit the Astros pitching. The bases were loaded for the Phillies in, I believe, the seventh inning, where they could have took this away. But it's been an up and down game, close calls, and it's been a really intriguing game to watch.
Well, in the ninth inning was just as that much close to where if Castellanos doesn't catch that ball, we're not talking about playing the bottom of the 10th. We're talking about the Astros securing game one, and that's it. That's all. We're done and dusted. So there's a lot to like in this ball game so far, and we're just waiting for it to resume here from Houston as there's going to be a flashback to 1975 Game 6 World Series, and that one going off the green monster right there. And I don't know why we're flashing back to this, but apparently that's a big moment in history, I think in the Phillies history by the looks of it. And there's
Yeah, it
JT
looked
Real
like
Muto suiting up behind the plate for this bottom of the 10th. This is going to be one big moment for the Phillies right here, is just to see what they can end up doing in this bottom half of the 10th. David Robertson comes in to close it with Chicago and Philly this season. A 2.40 save or ERA, buck 73 opponent's batting average, 63.2 innings pitched, and 81 strikeouts. So I think the book is here. He's going to try and pump the fastball by him and strike him out. But first up to face in this inning, the lefty, the power threat, Yordan Alvarez.
And there is a defensive substitution too. Baum is out, Sosa in at third
There we
for the
go. So a
Phillies.
little bit of a change, and it's right off the first pitch of the inning, ripped by Yordan Alvarez down the right field line, but foul. And this is where it's going to be interesting. How many pitches are the Phillies letting this inning go? Are they going to just try and put them away as quickly as possible here with a one-run lead? And I mean, that infield might as well all be on the right side the way they've got it aligned. And Alvarez will face pitch number 2 here, and we'll go right up, skied, foul. So Alvarez coming out looking to do damage. He's looking to put it on the grass somewhere in that outfield, not necessarily looking to go the other way. An 0-2 count
No,
already
he's
to
just
Alvarez.
trying to get on base.
I mean, you know what? If you can just power it through the shift, that's going to be about as best as he's going to be able to do. Stott, the shortstop, playing two bags. Sosa's pretty much at double play depth shortstop, and Segura's all the way out and right. This one's going to be fouled off again by Alvarez, who was late on that fastball. So Robertson, to his credit, same as I mentioned, looking to pump that fastball past Alvarez right out of the gate here in this inning. And oh my goodness, folks, we are gaining traction on the stream. Thank you so much for joining along. Philadelphia, Houston, bottom of the 10th, 6-5 for the Phillies, 0-2 count to Alvarez. Robertson pitching for the Phillies on the mound. Pitch and delivers ball one of the count. 1-2 now to Alvarez, the power hitter for the Astros. perhaps their best player this season in many aspects of the word, but Edmundo Sosa now taking over, as mentioned, at third base for the Phillies. Playing shortstop on your screen, though, and Robertson will again pump the fastball past Alvarez, who just can't seem to get a good swing on it. And this is really exactly what I was saying, is how much are the Phillies looking to just attack the Astros hitters here in the 10th and not waste any time with this one-run lead.
Oh, they got speed. If they get on base, Bregman, Altuve, Pena, Tucker, they got on base, they can steal bases. You do not want that. You want to attack these hitters.
Well, Alvarez is going to ask for time, so we'll have a moment to pause and reflect on what's going on here on the stream. Now we're crossing over 224 views. My goodness, the expected results are not this tonight, but we're getting it here as Philadelphia 6-5 over the Astros. 1-2 count. Alvarez swung on in the dirt, tagged. He is out, strike three, and that is one batter down. The curveball gets him, or the slider, whatever you want to say. And that is pitch number 6 of the inning for Robertson to get the out, the first one of the inning. And now you got 2 outs away to handing Houston their first loss of the postseason and securing game 1 of the World Series in the Phillies' favor. And that is just a beauty of a pitch. And now Robertson will draw in to face the next batter of the inning. Bregman it is. This is a good guy to keep off base. And he will swing through strike number 1.
I am ahead of you, so I know what happened.
All right, game on. Here we go.
Yeah.
We got an opportunity now. Bregman, who is career .400 batting average, 2 for 5 against Robertson, the pitcher for the Phillies. 0-1 count against Robertson. 7 pitches into his night so far. Right, we're on the delayed feed. Don't mind me. Sorry, folks. It is what it is when you're watching live on sports apps that send things here, and this one is ball 1 from Robertson. How far delayed am I here?
I got 10 pitches.
Okay. So we're a far ways back. Let me see if I can't secure things here. Go to live, and we're gonna see what we missed here. As it is was that a double for Bregman?
It was a double off the left field wall, just out of the reach of the left fielder. Bregman moves into second with 1 out.
So now with 1-0, you've got a 1-0 count to Kyle Tucker. See that go live button, it's a magical thing, and we got it working right there just a second ago. So now Kyle Tucker moves in, and I think I got to really cancel the YouTube stats here because my stream is glitching out hard here. So we'll lay off the YouTube stats momentarily and allow Kyle Tucker and his bat to get to work here in this bottom half of the 10th. The Phillies pretty much find themselves in that regular situation that we found ourselves in extra innings all season. 1 out and a runner at second. So here it is now, pitching. 12 pitches into the inning for Robertson, who has got a 1-1 count against Kyle Tucker. And it would take some kind of something here from Robertson to really get a note quick and then just tidy up this inning and finish it off to get the save in game 1 of the World Series for the Phillies and send the fans home with a 6-5 victory. And you know Philadelphia is going to be a mess tonight if they can pull this off. Now a 1-2 count to Kyle Tucker. And I haven't seen a reaction out of you yet. See, I got the live feed of you. So you're watching this early. And I haven't gotten anything out of you yet. So I'm going to take good word here that we might have a chance to do it. David, what channel is it on? We're watching live from Canada this evening. It's on Sportsnet, but I don't even know whose channel this is. Is this Fox? I could not tell you who you're watching.
I believe
on in
it's
the States.
Fox.
But it is strike 2 and ball 1. A 1-2 count to Kyle Tucker, and it will be ball 2 as Robertson spun off that pitch. He knew immediately that it was not a good pitch, and it is on Fox. So there you go. Sorry, we're watching on Sportsnet up here in Canada, and the Phillies currently find themselves in a 2-2 count against Kyle Tucker. And my friends, this is going to be interesting to see how this inning finishes up. Because right, obviously, there was a lot of threatening from the Phillies happening in that top half. And how much are the Astros going to try and make them regret it here in the bottom half of the 10th inning? Pitch number 15 in the inning, swung on and missed. Kyle Tucker's going to throw down to first base, and he will be out, and it will be the second out of the inning. And now with a runner at second, the Phillies down to their final out to secure a game 1 victory. And again, Robertson goes to Old Faithful here in the 10th, gets the swing and strike, and Tucker tried to make it interesting, but didn't work out to him. So now, what happens here? Due up.
Oh, that was a. Oh,
Yuli Gurriel. What do the Astros need here in this at bat? Just put it in play?
just put it in play. A single. Bregman has speed. You got a great out of getting Tucker, who's been all their offense this game. You need this out now.
600 career average for Gurriel against Robertson, including 2 doubles and a 3-for-5 line. It's strike 1 to him already on pitch 16 in the inning, and the Phillies cling into that 1-run lead. 2 strikes away from finishing it off. Here's the pitch from Robertson. It is going to be outside for ball 1, low and far in, almost into the other batter's box. 17 pitches into his night. He's looking to shut it down here in the next 3 before reaching 20, because he's going to be counted on. He's getting the game 1 save opportunity. He's going to be here a couple more times, at least in this postseason. The Astros, they are just looking on the bench. It's all on Yuli Gurriel here to try and touch grass. It is outside the other's batter's box again. 2-1 count now to Gurriel, who we know likes to work the count. 2-1. Pitch 18 already throwing, and now pitch 19 coming up. And on deck, who's number 16? Yup. Again, I haven't been following baseball much. I'm just doing the play-by-play to pretty much make sure Gillies TV can do the analysis. And it's the 3-1 count here from Gurriel. Anything close, are you taking it?
Yeah. You take it.
You have to. I think you absolutely have to. Anything on the black, take it and risk the strike to trade off for the walk and a fresh count with runners at first and second. Gurriel the pitch, and it will be ball 4. Robertson walks him. Oh boy, you want drama? We've got it here in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Runners at first and second for the Astros, and only 1 run to go. Alidmus Diaz, is that who's stepping to the plate here for the Astros?
It is so.
My goodness sakes. Talk about 2 Canadian guys watching the World Series. Former Blue Jay Alidmus Diaz has a chance with a double to walk off the Phillies. It'll be Bregman trotting back to second base. This is some kind of drama, and I think this game has had absolutely everything you could wish out of a World Series game. That is for sure. Diaz just settling in, looking calm as can be there, waiting for this at-bat to get underway against Robertson, who's now allowed a double and a walk back-to-back batters. Well, not back-to-back. I guess he got Kyle Tucker out, but you know what I mean? It's been an out, a base runner, an out, and a base runner. And now you've got Alidmus Diaz here, who I think is just one of those things. He's got to come in there and just touch grass just like everybody else. The last pinch hit walk-off home run was Kirk Gibson back in '88 in Game 1. And now this one. Ball 1 to Robertson. It's thrown away, actually. And how about that? Runners at second and third. Diaz touches grass in either of the power alleys, and the Astros walk it off in Game 1. That's how close we are to a meltdown here in the bottom half of the 10th for the Phillies, but you also just need 1 out if you are the Phillies to get this job done. My goodness, we are this close to deciding who wins this game, and we still don't have a clue which way it's going to go. Astros get it done here or what?
As much as I don't want to, as all Diaz needs to do is hit grass, What Robertson needs to do is these runners are going on first contact. There's
Oh,
two outs. Any single is going to score both runs. You need this ball in the air or ground ball to get the out.
and so Elidmus Diaz is 1 for 14 this postseason, right? A guy only interesting for former Blue Jays fans. And now Robertson squeaks in, and Diaz leans into the pitch, trying to draw a hit by pitch. And look at this controversy in the bottom of the 10th. Dusty Baker's like, whew, he tried that. And he came down just short of getting a hit by pitch, but he walked into that pitch off the elbow guard. No doubt about that. I don't think we can argue that there. And my friends, look at this. He just walks his elbow into it and it bites into Real Muto's arm area. And look at how he just drives that elbow down. So whew. Controversy? You like it? I like it.
These are the type of games I love to watch.
So Diaz will go in a 3-0 count. I don't know how they call that a ball. It physically should be a strike if the batter has manipulated the count. All he has to do is run his elbow in another ball and its bases loaded, correct? That's what I'd figure there, but it's a
Yeah.
ball three. So now runners at second and third and Diaz swinging. Green light, take us home. 3-1. Here it is. Looks like the comments are ahead of me, but I don't want to spoil the surprise if you're counting on me to relay what you need to know for tonight's ball game. The Phillies, the Astros right here hanging on at 3-1. Diaz swinging, ground ball to third base. The throw across, and that is going to get them. The Phillies take home Game 1 of the World Series for 2022. A 9-hit performance secures the comeback victory. And the Phillies, oh, guess what? They just handed the Astros their first loss of the postseason. How sweet is that?
That's a huge momentum boost for them. Knowing that the Astros have not lost all postseason, coming to Houston to play game 1 and 2 and taking game 1, that's a huge momentum boost. And being down 5-0, there was no quit in this Phillies team. And it's going to be good morale for the Phillies going forward.
So, folks, if you just missed it, the Phillies on a ground ball to third base that they get over to first base for out number 3 have just won Game 1 6-5. Game 1 winner goes on to win the series 22 of 27 times since 1985. If that isn't just a fact you want to see for the Phillies, they like that percentage quite a bit. And it's Diaz just swinging on a ground ball chopper there, and he's hustling. He knows he's got to hustle down that line, and he's out by 4 steps still. Tough go, and the tying run would have scored had he beat it out, but for Robertson, he's jacked up. And folks, that's pretty much going to do it for us. I think just to you, Gillies, the final thoughts on tonight's ball game. What did you witness tonight that tells you how this series is going to go the rest of the way home?
There's no quit in the Philadelphia Phillies. That's number 1. 2, this game was a one guy from each team doing most of the offense. That was JT Real Muto and Kyle Tucker. Tucker took Houston on his back, so did JT. The drama in this game, ups and downs for both teams. One team was on a 5-0 lead and lost. Another team was down 5-0, no quit, and came out with the win.
So it is a big time victory in game number 1 for the Philadelphia Phillies, folks. The Phillies take it home 6-5. I'm Yak. This is Gillies TV. We are up and done for tonight's live stream. I don't know if we should quit though, but it is.
Yeah, we could keep talking
We can
if
keep
you
going.
want.
All right, I'm going to change the title. Pause me a second. We're going to lose Gillies here momentarily just because for some reason the screen blacks out when we go here, and we will now move the live stream to live post-game coverage of the Phillies and Astros, and we'll go get the whatchamacallit we need to go here. All right, give some thoughts on the game. All right, we'll get it going. So, we'll get back to Gilly's TV here. Sorry, folks. That just blacks itself out if we do it that way. We'll go here and we'll get this back. And there we go. So I think big thing for us tonight is just simply to see for the Phillies, they do not quit. I know you've said that about 5 times in the past 5 minutes, but that's the biggest thing. You're down 5-0 early, and the Phillies managed to go out there and secure a 6-5 win in extras. Just, I guess we've talked about it, but how massive of a momentum shift is that in a World Series in and of itself?
It's a massive shift. Like I said, they were down 5-0. They stormed back. Give credit to the Phillies bullpen. They did not allow a run after Nola got pulled. I believe it was one out in the fifth inning. He got pulled, giving up 5 runs. This Phillies bullpen came in, and it was a great second half of the game. First half didn't go the way they wanted, but for the Astros, vice versa. Great first half of the game. Second half got into some pitching trouble, and ultimately, give credit to the Astros. They got out of a bases loaded jam, but ultimately it wasn't good enough to win the game for their bullpen.
So it's JT Real Muto who brings home the left field swing, and Real Muto goes opposite field and ends up bringing home the 6-5 run that gives the Phillies the win. Sorry, folks, distracted myself trying to bring up the scoring summary for Game 1 of the World Series right now as the Phillies take it home 6-5. It's been our pleasure to have the call for you here in the 10th inning, but now let's cover this one, cap it off, and get this recouped up as we'll go to the box score or summary. We want the summary. First off, as you mentioned, Gillies, it was Kyle Tucker in the bottom half of the second inning, homering to right on a 1-1 count to give the Astros a 1-0 lead. Then Maldonado singles to center and moves McCormick to third. Gurriel scores, so 2-0 there. And then bottom of the third, Kyle Tucker 4 out of 5 RBIs in this one for the Astros. Homers to right on a full count. Pena scores, Bregman scores, Tucker scores. 5-rip Astros after the third. And then it's the Phillies. Bang, bang in the fourth and fifth. Nick Castellanos single to left. Hoskins and Harper get moving. Hoskins scores, Harper to second. Bohm doubles to left. Harper scores, Castellanos scores. And then in the fifth, it's JT Realmuto scoring Marsh and Schwarber with his double to left that gets it to 5-5. And then, as mentioned, both bullpens go to work in the back half of the game, right after the bottom of the fifth. Everybody is just out there and crushing it. And guess what? It ends up taking to the top of the 10th after Nick Castellanos makes a diving play in the ninth to keep the game going. JT Realmuto homers to right on that full count to seal us at 6-5. I think I've seen the comments here, and I'll go back to them. I just want to get some of your thoughts in the comments right now because it is quite an interesting get to kind of hear what you guys have to say. But quite honestly, the thought there from Christopher is just simply put, that first half gave me a heart attack, honestly. The mental toughness is different this series. That's the big part about the World Series, is just how much of a mental game it is. And to your point, I think no quitting the Phillies. Can you just explain kind of what you saw to them in that bottom half of the fourth and bottom half of the fifth to get us to where we ultimately got to tonight?
Well, before I get to that, let's give Verlander props. You know, he's an older pitcher starting again in another World Series. And the Phillies had to deal with Justin Verlander, whose name has been circling around in the Cy Young for the AL. You got some nerves there. He did sit down 10 in a row, but then the Phillies started waiting back on their pitches, and that's where the game turned. They waited for the good quality pitches, not the lower quality pitches, but the heart and soul to get to Verlander, knowing you're down 5-0 already, was the statement.
And they do. They tag him for 5 earned runs, and that's kind of where the difference in the game is, right? The Phillies, they got their pitcher out early and started shifting momentum with the bullpen, and all of a sudden the Astros allow Verlander to go five, and just like that, the Astros are tagged for 5 runs by the end of 5 innings, and that's where they find themselves tied with the Phillies by the end of the 5th inning, and it takes another 5 innings to score a run, and it's the Phillies' JT Real Muto who scored the last couple runs, scoring the next run again on the homer to right to finish it off in the 10th inning. I think, to my point, I made a lot about pitch counts in the 10th inning. That's a big factor for me when I'm watching ball. Is you can kind of tell where an inning's going just by how a pitcher works to get where he's going in the inning. When you started seeing David Robertson in that back half of the bottom of the 10th, right, sets down the first two guys and then starts working the walk and Elidmus Diaz. When you started seeing him using a couple more pitches than he had in the first two batters, what was the nerves like? Were they creeping up there at all, or was it kind of no, it's just going to be one of those. We're going to get roped into a little bit of drama, and then we're going to finish this one off.
You, for me, you never want a pitcher going over 18 pitches an inning. And when Robinson hit that, I was like, okay, here we go. That's the walk. You're making it seem like you're waiting on pitches. You're making him work for it. The more pitches you see, especially if you're the on deck batter and the guy in front of you just walked on 7 pitches, you saw those pitches. You got a good idea of how that pitch is breaking and give credit. Robinson got out of it, but it was drama. This whole game was drama.
And that's the beauty of World Series baseball, right? If you're not getting that drama every single pitch, every single at bat, you're not getting your money's worth out of the World Series. And as somebody who has to pay to watch the World Series on TV, you know what? Quite honestly, that's exactly what I wanted to see. There's no guarantees in the world of live streaming on YouTube. Folks, thank you so much for enabling us to really have a great post game tonight just by thanking, just asking for it more or less. But realistically, right, there's no guarantees in live streaming on YouTube, and just to see the response here to continue the post game and just, right, is that's because of the drama. This game is
Yeah.
something to talk about.
Oh, and to go to your pitch count too. Verlander set down the first 10 batters. First inning, he had 15 pitches. Second inning, I believe it was 9, and then 10 to 14 in the third.
Yeah.
In that fourth inning, he pitched 24 pitches.
Well,
That was almost the same amount as 2 innings combined beforehand.
and what happened in
So,
that fourth? Game flipped on a dime.
yeah, the more pitches a pitcher pitches in an inning, the better understanding the other team's going to have. And that's why when pitchers get excited when it's a 1, 2, 3 inning, because they don't see your stuff much. Once you start throwing more than 15, 18 pitches, the batters are going to pick up on that.
And that's where I think, right, that no quit in the Phillies, just take every single at bat as it comes, sit in that on deck circle, watch the pitches, make sure the pitches are coming through into a vision of tunnel you can see, and just make something of. And that's kind of what they did, right? Sit back on the pitches, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. And they got the job done tonight against the Houston Astros, who fell to them 6-5 tonight at home and suffered their first playoff loss of this season. Just quickly as we wrap up here in the last minute and a half of the live stream that we got going here, if you're new to the channel, I'd appreciate you hitting subscribe. We'll be doing this little dual feature here as the postseason goes along. This is something we're going to have to look to do. Obviously, I've got commitments elsewhere on YouTube, but it's something that we're going to try and do. Gillies TV here is going to try and live stream as much of the World Series as he can for you, and hopefully we can meet up for the extra innings if there is anything like we saw tonight. But folks, that's again, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and staying tuned for baseball. We talk a little bit of everything here, hockey, baseball. There's every little bit of mix of sports you can possibly get on YouTube right here on Clem Hawks. And to your credit, just a fantastic effort to first live stream the game, but also to stick with it and stay tuned all night to kind of factor in and find out what we needed to know to basically run this post-game show here live on YouTube this evening. The last 30 seconds to you, sir.
One thing I would like to see is how the Astros are going to come out tomorrow night. Same time, they haven't lost in the postseason. How are they going to be affected by this? One thing the Phillies really did well today was keeping Yordan Alvarez off of base. His hits were minimal, and the Astros really, really need Jose Altuve to come around. He's hitting less than 1 this postseason. They need him to pick up. Same with the acquisition of Trey Mancini at the trade deadline. He's not doing much. I think coming into this game, he was 0 for 12 with 1 RBI. The Astros really need those two guys to pick up. I believe Valadez is the starter tomorrow for the Houston Astros. I haven't found who might start for the Phillies. They might keep that a secret till game time.
Folks, I'm Yak. This is Skillies TV. We are up on done tonight's broadcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are up on out of here. If I could find the mouse.